What do you think parents should have as their high school dating policy for their kids?
None. Don't date in high school. That's just what
That's
I
what I
would
was
argue.
hoping you would say.
The happiest high school students I've met in the world, and I meet about 100,000 of them in a particular year. So total, probably about 2 million in person over the last 26 years of speaking. The happiest ones I've ever met are the ones who told me, Jason, I don't even see a point of dating in high school because even if I do meet a great person, who cares? They're going to go to Thomas Aquinas next year, and I'm going to go to Franciscan University. What are we going to have? A long distance 4-year relationship while they're in California and I'm in Ohio, and then they're going to get a job in Spokane and I'm going to get one in Jacksonville? Like, what's the point? Well, there really isn't that much of a point. Occasionally, long distance relationships do work out, but it's pretty darn difficult. Long term, long distance friendships are pretty manageable. Long-term committed romantic relationships are a different story. Sometimes they can work out, but typically they usually don't. And to me, I remember a high school girl came up to me and said, Jason, you're right. You don't go to high school to find a husband. She said, you go to high school to find your bridesmaids. And I said, girl, you get the point to take your time. Take your time, find yourself, and then let love find you. And so high school to me is really a time of self-discovery, figuring out who the heck you are, what your passions are, your ambitions, what college you want to go to, your friends, your sports, your academics. Like, there's so many other things to be interested in. And oftentimes when we dive into this committed, emotionally charged romantic relationship and we're like 15, 16 years old, everything else in life almost tends to atrophy around it. Like, so much intense attention is given to this. And then oftentimes when that couple, let's say things do work out and they get married, let's say early, sometimes, not always, but sometimes the girl gets a bit itchy in the sense of like, wait a minute, I never traveled Europe with my friends. I never finished my degree. I never even started a career. Everything was the boy, the boy, the boy, the boy, the boy. Now, sometimes that doesn't happen. And sometimes they're like, I know couples that got married at 18, 19, 20 years old that have now been married 20, 30 years, 10 kids, happy as can possibly be. Those things do happen typically to couples who mature a lot faster than the typical teenager. But I would say, take your time. You might feel like everybody's rushing ahead and dating and you're the one left behind in the pack, but think about it like crossing the road and there's a sign on the other side of the street with the orange hand saying, nope, don't cross yet. And everybody's running into traffic, getting plowed over by cars, and you're on the sidewalk still waiting. You're actually going to get to the other side of the street faster because you're going to wait till the sign shows the little white walk guy, and then you're going to walk on all these people that got ran over, and you're going to get to the other side of the street faster. That's kind of an analogy, like people who run into romance too early often end up in these heartbreak situations, and then you could get to college and realize, hey, my heart's kind of intact now and I feel more mature and I've seen, some pretty rough relationships with my friends and I feel better able to navigate through the single years. In fact, I know a girl whose parents did not let her date in high school and she had a fit about that. Mom, you're a Nazi. Meh, 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 meh. But then she got to college. She was hanging out with all her girlfriends in the dorm and they were sharing all of their relationship drama from the past 4 years of high school. And she was just kind of sitting there listening, taking it all in. And she called up her parents, I guess, that night and said, Mom, can you get Dad on the phone? And they get on the phone and she said, Mom, Dad, I just want to apologize that I know I gave you guys heck for not letting me date in high school. But now that I'm in college, I'm listening to my friends' relationship drama. They've been through the last 4 years of their life and they've been through like 5 emotional divorces. And my heart is still in one piece, ready to be given to someone when I feel that I'm ready now in college. Thank you for holding that line, even though I know you gave you a hard time about it. And so she realized somewhat late that the purpose of dating is to find a spouse. Not because I'm bored and I'm lonely and everybody else has one, but it's a serious time of marital discernment. And to me, high school's a bit early to be doing that stuff. Even the first semester of high school or first semester of college, take a deep breath. Just get acclimated, get used to the homesickness, the new friends, the new situation, the academic schedule, and then maybe second semester, take your time and be open for a romantic relationship. But there's really no rush. The average American, I think, female marries, I think at the age of 29. Not that I'm advocating for that, but it just gives you a sense that like, hey, if we're rushing into romance at the age of 13, 14, 15, 16, could be a long go. The practicality of keeping a relationship chaste when marriage is still 6, 8, 10 years down the road, that's a lot to ask for. So take your time, find yourself, and like I said, then let love find you. Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, I'd encourage you to please like, subscribe, share, comment. That helps show it to more people. And then also submit your question at the email live@chastity.com, or submit your question or call in through our Discord server so we can talk to you in person on our next show.